Thought you guys might get a kick out of this. Looks like an arms dealer dealing out of the back of the Jeep. This is that kind of thing where you, on the way to the paddock, you think, gosh, I sure hope I don't get pulled over. Well, good afternoon, YTPC. It's Dave coming to you from the paddock in Southern Maryland, and it is another edition of Freedom Friday. No flannel freedom because it is 60 degrees out there and sunny, which is pretty freaky for the middle of February in Maryland. So it should be more like 30 degrees. So it seems like most of the nation's going through this. So I'm not really sure what's going on. They some claim that we're just getting set up to get hammered here in the next few weeks, and that we're actually going to have real winter again for the last half of February, all of March, for many of us into April. And they're even predicting some May freezes. So we'll see. Who the hell knows? They can't predict. At my house, they can't predict what's going to happen on Sunday. So I don't know how they can tell me what they think is going to happen in March. So much less April or May. But let's get on with Freedom Friday. So you've seen a few of these before. I have 5 weapons for you to view today. 3 of them you've seen before. 2 of them are very similar to each other. And then we're going to talk not just weapons, but how I choose what I buy and why I buy, the number I buy, and the defense tactics that I build my weaponry around. So let's get in it. We'll take you over to take a look at the table. All right, Pike should have called this like Shotgun Saturday Night or something, but here are the 2 weapons that I've not shown you before that I want to show you today. The first is something I bought 33 years ago. This is a Maverick. This is a Maverick pump action 12 gauge. You can see, as always, I have my extra slug sleeve and my Bandolero strap on it. I have a tack light on it. And it's just pretty basic. This is your most basic of shotguns. This is your safety. When it's off, it shows red. It's easy to check to see if it's loaded, and this one is. You can see the shell in there. I do not have one in the chamber, but I'm not going to show you because then it'll chamber one. And there's my tack light. All right, so that's Grandpa. This is the modern version. This is Mossberg. Mossberg bought Maverick several years ago. This is the Mossberg 500. Not much different. Mossberg does all Mossbergs come with their safeties up here. See the red dot? Same thing. It's easy to tell if it's loaded. This one is. Same thing. I don't have one chambered, but I'm not going to show you that, or it will chamber around. I like these sleeves. I like having 5 in the chamber and 5 up against me just in case. I like these Bandolero bands. Hey, how many does it give me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. So there's 5 in the pipe, 5 here, 15 here. So that's 3, 4. That's 5, basically 5 loads. Again, if I can't hit you with 25 rounds out of a shotgun, I probably deserve to get killed. All right, guys, we'll talk about the Mossberg 500 for a minute. This is an 18.5-inch barrel. This is the very definition of the first weapon you should buy, in my opinion. If you want one weapon to do home defense, property defense, or even hunting, this is what you want. So I just looked it up. Today, I looked it online. You can buy it directly from Mossberg for $563. That's a pretty good price for the weapon in 2024. So they're bulletproof. I mean, there have been billions of rounds put through these things. I do believe they are the standard for home defense. Some will say the Remington 870 is. It's the same weapon. I have the Remington 870 in my Wyoming home. They didn't have this in the gun store I buy things from, so I went with Remington. So I own both, but side by side, I picked this up. I would pick this up at the store, the Mossberg 500. One thing to look for if you go with the cheaper brand like Maverick, and I'm going to show you both here in a minute. So this is your pump handle. This is your release. And there are two push rods. This right here is connected to this handle, and it's what helps rack the round. There's the exact mirror image of that on this side. It hooks up here, and it connects to the rack. Now I can hold this down, and it is now loaded. But I'll just run them all out. All right, you can see it is unloaded now. What I wanted to show you is that you want a shotgun, no matter what you buy, with push rods on both sides of the fore handle. I'll show you why in a minute. All right, guys, this is the Maverick I bought in 1991, and I've put thousands of rounds through this thing. It's a great weapon. I have no problem with it. I just want to show you something. So here's the push rod. Here's your fore handle for rack and for your pump action. Here's that push rod that comes down into the rack. And if I turn it over, there isn't one here. All right, the Maverick has one push rod. I have worn this out. I've had to replace this push rod and this fore handle because I've broken this right here, this intersection. All right, not a big deal, but the price of the replacement pieces from the weapon to the Mossberg 500 doesn't make sense to me. I would not buy the Maverick today. I just looked it up. The Maverick today, is $293. You can buy the Maverick from Mossberg today, brand new, for $293. That's an amazing price. And if that is way more achievable than the 600, basically, then go for this. Just know, after several hundred rounds, which you may never get to, I don't know your lifestyle, you may just watch this. You'll see cracks appearing, and you'll know you'll need to get a new fore handle and maybe a new push rod. You can see this is still the original one. It's worn off. I just had to replace the fore handle. So guys, that's it. I just wanted to show you the epitome of modern day home defense, but a slightly cheaper but just as effective version. Maverick, Mossberg, same company now, by the way. All right, you guys saw me run all the shells out of here, so this is a completely unloaded weapon. I picked all 5 up off the floor. We'll see if I get in trouble for doing this. This is how you just slide them up. That's how easy it is. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can rack one and put another one in here, and then it'd be 5 and 1. I run it 5 and 0, and it's like debating church. That's a religious debate. I don't chamber around. Not telling you what to do. All right, guys, that's it for these 2 weapons. So we're going to transition our conversation away from the Maverick and the Mossberg, and we're going to just kind of reinvestigate these 3. So this is my Mossberg 20 gauge, and it's much better. 20 gauge is so much easier for a smaller frame person. So your wife, a small kid, your daughter, this is a great weapon to teach them on. It's still just as effective, by the way. And then this is the Shockwave. This is the Mossberg Shockwave. It's the shortest weapon you can own and still be legal with the ATF. This is my personal choice for home defense. If someone were to visit my home and break in, this is what I would welcome them with. And then the last one is that bullpup, that Landor Arms 12 gauge bullpup. There's the mag back here, and then I keep my bandolero. So, Landor Arms, Mossberg, 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 Maverick, now Mossberg. So you can kind of sense a theme there. You can also sense a theme that I like having extra ammo literally on me. Literally on me in this case, and literally around my arm in this case, in these two cases. I've not done this on this yet, but it's just so new I haven't had a chance. All right, enough of the bright lights, enough of the weaponry. Why do we buy what we buy? You know, why do we buy not only the weapon choice, but the number? And one thing we should think about is, what are we trying to defend against? And like Corvette Jim, you know, he talks about he's a 3-weapon man in the car, one on him, one in the carjacking position, and one in the glove box for his passenger in case they need it. That's a pretty robust on-the-road plan. So, you know, why do I have, so I just showed you my Maryland shotguns. That's it. I've not shown you all of them. I've not shown you my Wyoming yet, but you know, why have so many? It really depends on what I'm trying to defend against. So the first one is just regular old home defense, and that's why I have the Shockwave. I used to rely on the Maverick. I relied on the Maverick from 91 until just a couple of years ago. So obviously I think the Maverick is fine for that. And kind of like pipes, you know, sometimes you go and you buy things, you know, just because you want them or you think they're cool. The Shockwave is cool. You know, I'm not sure it's any more effective than Mossberg 500 or the Maverick 88, but it's cool. It's short. It's tactical. It doesn't take up much room where you hang it, or if you put it in a drawer or under your bed or wherever you choose to keep it close. So that's why I do it. The other thing is I'm thinking about more than just some guy randomly breaking into my house. You know, I'm thinking more if things were to go wrong, particularly these last 4 or 5 years. You know, if things were going to go wrong, my home is close enough to DC. It's only about 35 miles from, or 30 miles really, from the White House to my house. So, you know, if something happened and DC did start to empty out, there's possibility some of those couple million people are going to roll down my highway and could eventually roll down, you know, my driveway. So I build all my weaponry around a 4-man fire team, 4-man rifle team, 4-man squad, whatever you're used to saying. And I like the idea of layered suppression or layered defense. And in weaponry, that means I need reach out and touch someone weaponry. I need medium range weaponry. I need close in range, and I need hand-to-hand range. And we have all that for 4 people. And we have enough of them so people can, we can have somebody out on that BMG 50 reaching out and touching somebody. We can have somebody else on the M60 doing wide level suppression. We can have somebody on the AR-15 and the AR-10 doing pinpoint level, either keeping people away or keeping their heads down or picking them off one by one. So there's your 4-man fire team, your BMG, your M60, your AR-10, your AR-15. But eventually somebody may come in closer than that. So you say, hey, get off the BMG 50 and get on the bullpup, right? And you put someone on shotgun. So now you got someone on the automatic, you got somebody on your rifles, and you got somebody on a quick cycling automatic shotgun. And then if you need to, you drop the M60 and you have them pick up another shotgun. Eventually you had dropped the AR-10, you pick up a shotgun. And pretty soon you got 3 or 4 people doing close-in fire suppression around whatever you're trying to protect. And then if you have to, you start dropping shotguns and going to pistols. And we've not done much pistol review yet on this channel, so we'll do some of that as well. You've seen my AK-47, you've seen my AR-10, you've seen my AR-15, you've seen my BMG-50, you have seen my M60, you've seen my shotguns, layered defense, layered suppression. Some of you are going to think I'm absolutely crazy, and I hope you're right. I hope that the things I've prepared for never come to be. I've even prepared for if somebody I'm close to gets in trouble and I have to go in and get them from somewhere. And that's part of what the Humvee's for, and that big F-250 is for. All the tack gear and all the armor that we have. We'll go over some of that. Anyway, it's not just the weapon you purchase. It's not just the ammo you purchase. It's how do you see it going down if a situation does occur. If you're just preparing for some random dude to walk into your house, that 9mm is probably good enough. If you're just trying to protect yourself from somebody walking up to your car, that single handgun's enough. But if you're thinking about something more serious, you really need to think through it. That's it, guys. I'm going to shut up and get this put up and get Freedom Friday. I'll probably come back and do another video later today, but I wanted to get this one up and done. Hopefully it helps you think about things differently. There are probably some people who should not be watching this video. We'll talk to you later. Bye, you guys.